Hello, I'm Rick Wegley, and welcome to this edition of Ask NCM, where we do our best to address questions from our clients from around the country. This week I want to talk about customer satisfaction. This is probably the hot topic that comes up in every single service class that I teach when we go around the room and I ask them, so what are the biggest challenges you're facing today in your businesses? The three things that come up would be customer satisfaction, meeting today's customer expectations, and improving customer retention. Those are the most commonly stated three challenges that I'm getting from the students today. And I remember looking back even on my management training back 20 plus years ago on it. These are the same challenges we were haggling over back then. Nothing's changed with that respect. Times have changed, products have changed, technologies have changed. I think customers' expectations have changed, but really only due to the extent that there are options out there for service advisors are more transparent than ever today. There's so much information available on the internet. We're just having more challenges in our stores meeting the customer's expectations. So when it comes to the service department and I look at the causes of customer dissatisfaction, both in my retail experience, personal experience, and dealing with students and talking to them in classes, it boils down to a lack of communication between the service advisors and the customers in almost all cases. I remember in my retail career when customers would come to me with a concern that they had after isolating and kind of root causing what was going on, the customer would say, hey, XYZ isn't what really caused the problem, but if somebody had called me and let me know what was going on, I would have been fine with that. So again, it goes back to communication. So the strategy for service departments should be to be proactively reaching out to customers to update them on the status of their service requests on a regular basis through the day. Each advisor proactively making outbound phone calls instead of taking untimely inbound phone calls for customers trying to check on the status of a service request. Just a quick best practice for that comes from several of our clients that do this on it. They track the inbound calls. They have a service department request, and the receptionist will have a follow-up question is, are you calling for an appointment or are you calling to speak to a service advisor? If they're calling for an appointment, it goes to the appropriate person who schedules the appointments on that. If they're calling to speak to a service advisor, they will have a follow-up question to that, which would be, are you calling for information or are you calling to check on the status of your vehicle? And for each status request update that they have, they'll actually put a check mark so they can track it by advisor. It gives them a better idea of who is making their outbound calls and who is not. Number one cause of dissatisfaction by customers is just simply a lack of communication between the service advisors and the customers. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Ask NCM. If you have a question you'd like to see us address on a future episode, please email your request to askncm@ncmassociates.com.